Hey folks, it's William with All Solar Texas. If you've been considering going solar and adding a backup power option to your home but have been kind of holding off because of the price, well, I got great news for you. A new bill just got signed into law that I'm going to break down all of the tax incentives for you to help you factor in when you're considering going solar. Stay tuned. Alright folks, but before we dive in, please make sure to hit that subscribe button and don't forget to tap on that notification bell. That keeps you up to date with all the latest energy news that we produce here on the channel, and it does help get our message out to more YouTubers everywhere, all across Texas. So thank you so much for checking us out. Lastly, don't forget to reach out to us. Give us a call, check out our website, email us, text us. We respond quickly and we can't wait to hear from you. Alright, so let's talk about the Solar Investment Tax Credit, the Solar ITC. Now, if you've been watching this channel for long, you know that I've been mentioning a 26% federal tax credit, which was going to sunset at the end of this year, and then step down to 22%, which would drastically raise the cost of you going solar. So there was a lot of pressure for you to figure out if this is something that you wanted to do by the end of this year. Otherwise, it would just cost you more going forward. Well, with the passage of this new bill, it raises the ceiling of that 26% federal tax credit up to now 30% for qualifying systems, which includes your panels, your inverters, your microinverters, your wire, your main panel upgrades, your backup battery systems. All of this is now 30% of a tax credit that's available to you if you qualify. Now, the good part about that is it also extended it for a period of 10 years with a step down thereafter. Now, if you've been thinking about going solar but have been holding off, don't worry about it. You have 10 years to make a decision, but I would definitely encourage you not to waste any time. The reason is because you're still renting your electricity. So every month that goes by, you're still paying someone else to produce your power when you could be making that investment in your own home and producing that power for yourself. There are some additional tax incentives. So if you've been thinking about purchasing an electric vehicle, qualifying taxpayers now have up to a $7,500 tax credit towards the purchase of an electric vehicle. Now, electric vehicles have gone through a dramatic change in technology over the years. They're getting better, they're getting more affordable. We have much longer range options and much more features available to us as consumers. But that $7,500 federal tax credit on an electric vehicle is a fantastic way to help offset those costs. Additionally, what was not available prior to this bill going into law is you can purchase a used electric vehicle. So if you're in the market but you don't want to pay full retail price, don't worry. You can now purchase a used electric vehicle and have some substantial savings as well. There is an additional tax credit for that, and I will make sure to drop all the links to this content, to this information down below, which you can check out and verify for yourself. Now, let's talk about what else is in the tax bill. Well, in addition to the solar tax credit, that 30%, as well as adding backup batteries to that option, they also created incentives and rebates for you to do energy efficiency upgrades to your home. So there's a great opportunity that if you've done this over the last year, let's say, or you've added some insulation, or you've done some weather stripping, or you've replaced out some old gas appliances for some new energy efficient electric appliances. The good news is, even if you invested in solar earlier this year, this entire package, this 30% off plus the rebates that we're going to break down shortly, is retroactive to January 1st of 2022. So for all my customers that already went solar, I got great news for you. It's now 30% of your federal tax credit, not 26% anymore. Now, if you did decide to invest in some home efficiency upgrades throughout the early part of this year, or if you're even thinking about doing it going forward, here's some things that you can really look forward to and make sure that you look into and keep your receipts so that you can take advantage of these tax incentives for home energy efficiency upgrades. So if you decided to put in a heat pump water heater, you could be looking up to a $1,750 tax rebate. Or if you decide to put in a heat pump for space heating or cooling, that's an $8,000 tax rebate that you could be eligible for. If you swapped out an old gas stove for an electric stove or cooktop or range, you could be looking at an $840 tax rebate as well. You have up to $4,000, which you can deduct off your taxes for a breaker box upgrade. So if you go from a 50 amp panel to a 100 amp panel, or a 100 amp panel to a 200 amp panel, you're going to see some significant cost savings there. Also, if you decide to put in some insulation, whether or not you upgraded your insulation from a standard insulation to foam, you could be looking at a rebate of $1,600 if you qualify, which will help dramatically offset those costs. Also, there's additional funds if you do air sealing or ventilation, weather stripping. Any of these things that will help you reduce your overall electric consumption could be covered as a rebate under this new bill. Lastly, you get up to $2,500 for electrical wiring. So even if you did the job yourself, I hope you saved your tax receipts, because you will be able to claim that tax credit at the end of this year if you qualify. In addition to that, the Act would also create a second rebate program, which would pay households between $2,000 and $8,000 for undertaking some of these larger upgrades that we see that are available for you as a homeowner. Lastly, and I would probably say most important, this bill, in addition to providing tax credits for energy efficiency projects and also for the solar and backup batteries, it does put additional taxes on oil and natural gas. So why should you care about those additional taxes for oil and gas? Well, here in Texas, most of our power is generated by natural gas cogeneration plants, which right now we're already paying substantial rate increases from last year because of the price of oil and natural gas and the other commodities going up. Once this bill goes into place and those taxes start to translate into higher natural gas rates, then your utility is now going to be raising the cost of your electric rates, because they now need to pay more for their natural gas, which means this whole equation mathematically and financially makes way more sense. You now have a higher tax credit on going solar and backup battery and some of these home efficiencies, while also looking at rates that are going to go up even further because the price of natural gas is now going to be taxed additionally, which means that those costs will trickle down to you, the consumer. So do not wait any longer. We do have multiple years of this federal tax credit, but as we see the increase in natural gas prices, we're going to see increase in our electric rates as well. So the sooner you get rid of that entire utility bill, the more money you're going to save. Get out of the cycle, call us today, and we'll help set you up with a really fair package that meets your needs at an affordable price, and we'll walk you through any of the questions that you have about your system and about how the federal tax credit works. Now, just as a quick disclaimer, I am not a tax professional whatsoever. I do have an episode on one of my podcasts here on the channel where I do interview an actual tax professional. Now, that discussion's kind of moot at this point because the federal tax credit now available is different and it's better for you, the consumer. But I always encourage customers to talk to their tax professional to get an understanding of your particular tax status and your tax profile. Why do I say that? Because this solar tax credit isn't going to benefit every family. If you do not pay taxes because you're a disabled veteran who's retired and maybe supplementing your income with Social Security, or if you are part of the clergy and you have a different tax profile, or if you're at a certain income level and have a certain tax profile, depending upon who you are and what your particular tax profile looks like means you may or may not qualify for any of these incentives. But for most Americans, for the average household, you will see a significant savings in going solar, assuming that you qualify because of your tax profile. All right, folks, that about wraps it up for today. But before you take off, please drop a comment below and let me know, has the passage of this new bill changed your mind at all about going solar if you were on the fence? I can't wait to hear your comments. Thank you so much, and God bless.